What up, YouTube? You already know. Big Lou tapping back in with what it do with Big Lou. NFZR2, baby, baby. First time you're coming to the channel, be highly appreciated if you sub, like, and share the channel with your family, friends, folks, peoples, gente, buddies, pals, amigos. And feel free to leave comments. Um, and I respond back to all the comments. So this is a little story I want to bring to you guys, a little mystery. So thus far, it involves 3 states in the investigation, 2 murders, and possibly murder for hire, and then that's where it turns into a mystery. Uh, and I guess they're working around the clock to figure this out. So I'm going to break it down a little bit to the best of my ability of what I've learned thus far of the case. So this is regarding a California Highway Patrol commander, 49-year-old Julie Harding. Now, she's labeled a commander, but technically she's a captain. The way it works here is you got the main California Highway Patrol's office, which is out of Sacramento, because that's the headquarters for the state. It's the capital, right? If you guys don't know, California Highway Patrol is basically like a state trooper, pretty much. They're the highest paid California employee. It goes to California Highway Patrol, and then second is California Department of Corrections, CO. They're second as far as state workers. So what happens is they got the main station in, like I said, Sacramento, the main office, and then they have offices in departments and stations, however you want to say it, all up and down the state. And the person that runs that substation is a commander, but really they're captains. Their title really is a captain, but because they're running that whole substation, they're considered a commander. Okay, so the lady was Julia Harding was on leave, and she was in Tennessee. She was found dead of a gunshot wound days after an arrest in the fatal shooting of her husband in Kentucky, and her own arrest on suspicion of trespassing, and from the house of her husband's current girlfriend at the time. Police reports obtained by the Time show, right? Julie, like I said, Julie Harding was 49 years old, was found dead this past Saturday, in a home in a rural area near the Kentucky border, right? CHP spokesman Sergeant Jeremy Whalen. Her death comes 2 days after a Napa, California man was arrested in connection with the October slaying of her husband, Michael Harding, who was 53 years old. Julie Harding's death is being investigated by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, but officials have said foul play is not suspected, which that's kind of weird. I mean, considering the other circumstances, and what led up to her death, that's kind of strange, right? A source familiar with the Kentucky-based investigation, who was not authorized to speak publicly about the death of Michael Harding, said investigators are focusing on whether the Napa man was involved in a murder for hire plot connected to the CHP commander, which is Julie Harding, excuse me. Julie Harding was a 22-year veteran of the CHP and headed the department's Yuba Sutter office since 2018. Sergeant Jeremy Whalen, spokesman of the CHP, said Sergeant Whalen wouldn't comment on how long Commander Julie Harding was on leave for, but officials did say her and her husband Michael owned property in Tennessee where Julie was staying 2 days by her. Let's see, where Julie was staying. Julie Harding was booked, and this is when she got arrested for the trespassing, when she went onto the girlfriend of her husband at the time, prior to his death. She was arrested by the Rutherford County Jail. She was booked into the Rutherford County Jail about 100 miles away from the home where her body was found in the city of Salina on this suspicion of trespassing. So she was caught on a ring camera of the lady, and the lady's name is Natasha Davis, who was in a relationship with her husband Michael at the time of his death. She caught Commander Julie Harding on her ring camera, going up to the door, opening the screen door, grabbing a dog by the collar, and then leaving. And the dog was, who Natasha said was she took care of the dog after her boyfriend, which is also the husband to Julie, was killed, was found murdered. She, decided she was going to care for the dog, but she said that she would meet her Julie at a police department and give her possession of the dog. So Julie took it upon herself to go on her property, open the screen door, and take the dog, and it was caught on the ring camera. So that was obviously used as the evidence to book her. So she was arrested. She was arrested on trespassing charges. The Hardys were going through a divorce, and the CHP commander had been harassing her husband's girlfriend, who was later identified as Natasha Davis. Natasha Davis told police that Julie Harding had trespassed on her property in October and tried to take back the Harding's dog, which Davis had been keeping. Apparently, the camera didn't show that she attempted to take it. She did take it, the dog. Michael Harding, which was her husband, Julie Harding, and the boyfriend of Natasha Davis, was reported missing September 18th, 2022, from his home in Salina. It was not immediately clear who filed the missing persons report. He was last seen to be in Kentucky in the nearby county of Cumberland. According to police appeals to the police appeals to the public to help find him, and then his body was discovered on September 26th in a vacant home being sold in Cumberland County. Authorities said he had been shot multiple times, according to the coroner's office. And then I watched the interview with a friend of his, and he said that the friend of his was getting married, and that Michael Harding was on his way, when he spoke to him on the phone last, on his way to go pick up a tuxedo for and to get fitted for the tuxedo for the man's wedding, and he got a service call in between that, and so he went to go to take the service call, and the man said that he tried to call him about an hour later and he didn't answer, so he figured that he was still working. And so what he says is that every time Michael would go do a service call, he would go check the pilot light first. So I guess he was probably a heating air conditioner, HVAC guy or something, I don't know. And so he thinks that when he went down, that whoever called him and set this up knew that that was part of his practice, and that was the first thing he would do for like troubleshooting. And so he believes that when he went down to check the pilot light, that's when they jumped him. You know what I mean? And he also believes that it was a murder for hire and that Julia Harding was behind it. This is the friend speaking in an interview. Kentucky authorities have reached out to Tennessee and California law enforcement, as well as the FBI, for help in the investigation, said State Police Trooper First Class Jonathan Hoke. And then this was some other developments in the case. Thomas Francis O'Donnell of Napa was ID'd as a suspect in Mr. Harding's death. Michael Harding's death, Hawk said, and was arrested Thursday at the Sacramento International Airport. O'Donnell, 60 years old, is being held without bail pending extradition to Kentucky, authorities said. They have 30 days to pick him up from California, and he's in his next court date. He is next due for arraignment January 26, 2023. But now after going during my research, looking through some of these articles, now he's being held on $1 million bail. Um, so most likely, he'll probably have a bail hearing, and they have to show, most likely it's going to be property, right? $1 million. So, um, but as far as I know, I looked up again, and what I could find was he was still in custody. Kentucky police Kentucky State Police said it partnered with the FBI and other law enforcement agencies in Kentucky, Tennessee, and California before arresting Thomas Francis O'Donnell, 60. Right? Authorities have not said what they believe a motive is for the killing. Um, and just to be clear, that Julie Harding was found. Her body was found on December 10th, 2022. Um, and that the couple bought the home in Tennessee in 2019. Um, and so there's a lot of things going on there that haven't been answered yet, right? Like obviously, it's still new in the investigation. But here's a little timeline in the death, a timeline in the death investigation of CHP Commander Julia Harding and her husband Michael. So California, let's see, Julia Harding, a California Highway Patrol captain in the Yuba Sutter area, was found dead in Tennessee just months after her husband, right? Michael Harding was shot and killed in Kentucky. Meanwhile, the Sacramento County Sheriff said 60-year-old Thomas Francis O'Donnell of Napa is being held in Sacramento County Jail after recently being arrested at Sacramento International Airport in connection with the murder of Michael Harding. Authorities are still investigating their deaths, like I had mentioned. While the connection between Julia and O'Donnell remains unclear, KCRA Channel 3 has put together a timeline of the events leading up to today. Here's what we know so far from the investigation spanning at least 3 states. So September 26, 2022, Michael Harding, 53, is found dead inside a home on Glasgow Road in Burkesville, Kentucky. According to Clay County Sheriff in Tennessee, Michael was shot and killed. He had also gone missing in Clay County before his body was discovered in Kentucky. October 10, 2022, a woman who Michael was dating prior to his death reports Julie, 49, to the police, accusing her of trespassing. According to documents from the Murfreesboro Police Department, the woman who filed the complaint told police that Julie and Michael had been going through a divorce. She reported seeing Julie on a Ring camera on October 10th walking up to the front door and calling a dog's name Charlie. Charlie was Mike's dog, and the woman agreed to take custody of the dog after Mike died. Documents state the woman told officers she was willing to give the dog back to Julie if they met at a nearby police department. Julie grabbed the dog by the collar and left the home, which is when the woman filed a report to police. October 13, 2022, the woman filed another report against Julie, saying that she was afraid of Julie and being harassed by her. She told officers in Murfreesboro that after Julie broke into her home to steal the dog, the woman noticed that her Netflix account was hacked. The complaint stated that the one account showed the woman's name with a profile picture of a monkey, and the second account was Julie's name with a profile picture of an angry princess. The other accounts that were there before were also deleted. So fast forward December 8, 2022, Julie Harding is arrested with stalking and burglary charges. According to Murfreesboro Police Department documents, on the same day of Julie's arrest, Thomas Francis O'Donnell is arrested in Sacramento International Airport in connection with Michael's killing, according to the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office said the warrant for O'Donnell's arrest was issued in Cumberland County, Kentucky for a murder charge. December 10th, 2022, 2 days after his arrest, Julie is found dead with a gunshot wound in Salina, Tennessee, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. CHP said Julia was on leave at the time when she died. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said her death does not appear to be a result of foul play. December 14, 2022, O'Donnell, who is from Napa but has a criminal past in Texas, awaits extradition at the Sacramento County Jail. O'Donnell lived for a period of time in Houston area. He was previously charged in 2006 with a stalking of a former girlfriend and was given probation. The victim had accused him of threatening to kill her after she broke up with him in '05. In incidents that spanned nearly a year, he was accused of pushing her, choking her, forcing her to have sex with him, harassing her where she worked, and chasing her with his car, according to authorities in court documents. He was later charged with DUI in '08 and completed his probation. Authorities have not said what they believe a motive is for the murder of Michael Harding. December 15, 2022, a grand jury in Cumberland County, Kentucky hears evidence in the case against Thomas O'Donnell. A judge then signs an indictment for murder in connection with Michael Harding's killing, according to court documents obtained by KCRA Channel 3. O'Donnell is ordered to be held on $1 million bail and is due for arraignment in Kentucky on, like I mentioned, January 26, 2023, according to court documents. O'Donnell shot Harding multiple times, according to the documents. So that's the timeline, peoples, of what's going on with this. It's highly, I don't know, it's mysterious how you can have, this lady be arrested 2 days later, she's killed, or she's found dead. I don't know if she's killed. They haven't did an autopsy yet, but it's kind of, they said there was no foul play. They can't find no foul play. That's just all strange. I mean, unless she killed herself out of guilt for hiring this guy. I don't know, but it's just a little story that I found kind of, I guess you could say interesting. And definitely a murder mystery thus far. And also to show that police go through, things happen with police, just like with everybody else, regular people. You know what I mean? They're not obsolete from from things happening, what I mean, in their life, So police are people. But anyway, that's just a little story. Hope everybody enjoys this little story. I pretty much covered everything I found on the story. Like, there's a lot of articles and from different channels and different news outlets, but it's all basically the same thing. If I find anything out later of different turns and twists about the story, I'll do a follow up on it. So with that being said, Big Lou's tapping on out. Well, what to do with Big Lou? Thanks for stopping in, everybody, and watching the video after it's uploaded by YouTube. I appreciate each and every one of you subs, no doubt.